one Russian family, you know, one stripper. That was in the trailer. One Russian family, one stripper. The Cinderella story. The Cinderella story you never knew you wanted.
Initiating weekly entertainment brought to you by Extra Rad. Boys Meet Film will begin in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Enjoy.
Welcome to Boys Meet Film. My name is Michael, and these are my boys,
Max.
Kellen.
and today we're going to talk about Anora, the little film that made a big wave in Hollywood, won Palme d'Or, won Best Picture, and it won our hearts.
It did, yes. A lot of other awards too.
Yeah.
Like four other Oscars.
Yeah.
Yes, a lot of Oscars, a lot of other awards outside of the Oscars, Palme d'Or, all that. This movie was shot with $6 million. It was shot on film, primarily on location, with a lot of actors that... Is there one actor in here that is, like, really known?
I don't think
Besides
so.
Mikey Madison
Yeah,
being in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
She's the most well known, yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa. I didn't even register that until you just said it.
Yeah, she's the one who gets torched by a flamethrower at the end by Leonardo DiCaprio.
Whoa.
She's
Yeah.
also, that's not even the first or the only film that she's gotten torched alive. She also got torched alive in Scream. She's in the new Scream movies.
Wow.
I was waiting for it in the ending of this movie, but it
Well,
never
she
Didn't
kind of got
happen, yeah.
torched in a way.
yeah. Well,
And we'll
yeah.
get into that.
We'll get into it.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's deep, man.
Yeah, she's typecast.
Yeah,
That's a shame.
In Sean Baker's acceptance speech for Best Director, Tarantino brought him up and he shouted him out, remember?
Oh, yeah.
He was like, if it wasn't for you,
Yeah.
this movie wouldn't have had Mikey. And yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. That makes a lot of sense now.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Sean Baker, he's a great director. He makes really low budget indies. A lot of them have been about sex workers. I haven't seen his like really early stuff, so I don't know if it's on the same, theme or not. But really great films. I love this guy.
I want to see more of his work after this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
can
his stuff is awesome.
we have some names, maybe?
Yeah. So Tangerine, I haven't seen, but it was shot on an iPhone. And that was kind of his like breakout movie. And then the Florida Project with
So-
Willem Dafoe.
That's on my list.
Yeah, that one, soul crushing, really good. Great Willem Dafoe movie.
Oh,
And Red Rocket with Simon Rex from the Scary Movie movies.
Which one is he?
I don't know.
I don't know, man.
We'll put a picture right here.
Okay.
Cover Kellen's face. Just
Yeah.
put it over Kellen's face.
I'll Google it.
He famously used to be a porn star before he broke into Hollywood. Simon Rex, not Sean Baker.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know. I love his movies. I like the way he tackles the theme. And there's a really interesting podcast, and I wish I knew the name of it because I was just scrolling reels.
Mm-hmm.
But he was talking about his approach to filmmaking and why he tackles these subjects. And he was talking about how when he was our age, like 25 to 30, he was completely addicted to heroin, just like getting kicked out of places, lost all of his friends, people he loved. And he figured that like he wanted to make movies where, characters that are looked down upon, they have empathy, I just think it's so cool.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, especially for this type of film about, a stripper, like there's so many ways that you could sexualize it that just makes it this like really egregious sexploitation film, but it was handled with delicacy, and this story just touches me so good.
Poor choice of words.
Where does it touch you, Michael?
Right here.
That seems too high to be your heart.
I swear. Guys.
Right here in this.
No, guys, no. I'm going to start using pillow again. I was breaking free from the pillow.
Oh, no.
And now you guys are bringing it back.
His safe place. I agree. I mean, they call it out in the film. She talks about how like she's like, what's that one Disney princess? You know, she's like, oh, Cinderella. You know, it's like a modern take on Cinderella classism kind of story.
Yeah.
Which was awesome. And yeah, handled very well. I think that it showed the world, it showed their world in like a very good light, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And the struggles that they go through and kind of the desperation that they live in. And it was like, I don't know. I just think that he did his research and had a good understanding of like how the inner workings of this world is. And the way they handled the Russians, I thought was awesome.
Oh yeah.
Like it felt like,
Armenians.
oh yeah, that was so good.
Yeah.
Really good.
Yeah. I have some Armenian family in my family, and it was pretty accurate.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It was awesome. Let's go to our resident Goatnik.
Damn.
For those that are just listening, he is bald, but he is a very cute one.
He's a cute bald.
I'm like
Probably the cutest one you'll see.
I'm like a bald 8.
An 8 bald. A really lucky one.
Lucky 8 bald.
One of the lucky ones.
You know, when I first shaved my head, that was the first thing I thought. I was like, oh, thank God I have a good head shape. Otherwise, I'd be fucked.
You do have good head shape, man.
Thank you, man.
I'll give it to you.
I appreciate that.
I like it. Yeah. It fills me with joy.
Yeah.
Every time I see you.
You know, every time
Feel free
I
to rub
see you,
I always get a good rubbing.
I do
Of
want
your
you,
head. On the top of your head.
Man, it's not in front of the
I'll do
subscribers.
it for you.
Yeah, there it is.
That did feel good. I do want to say I do get jealous of you when I see you, because I feel like it would be so liberating if I didn't have to wash this every day, and you know.
Well, here's the thing, and we were going to be talking about Anora, but now we're talking about being bald.
Men's hair care.
You still have to wash your head.
What?
Yeah, I wash my head with shampoo and I condition it to get some moisture in there.
You don't condition your hair.
I absolutely do. Every time I shower. And I condition my beard.
Bring receipts.
Dude,
You want me to take a video?
I feel like that's just something like you're holding on to.
We'll put it on our.
You're like, I can still shampoo.
No, for real. I
No,
mean,
I know.
You know, like, I mean, might get some like dry skin in there, but like
Yeah.
the conditioner helps it.
Evens it all
Take
out.
a video and let's put it on our OnlyFans.
Okay. Yeah, find
We
us
have
at
an
OnlyFans.
We're going to.
We're going to have an OnlyFans.
Yeah.
Nice. Good.
And, you know, for the ladies, so you use conditioner. Do you use conditioner?
Of course, yeah.
This guy conditions, I can tell.
You think so?
Look at my hair, dude. It's immaculate.
It does look really nice.
Thank you.
I've been in his
silky
shower.
right now.
Thank you.
I have been in his shower as well.
I've spent a lot of time in that shower.
Yeah, me too.
I may or may not have been in the shower with them.
I was peeling off blood from our short film.
Yeah, our short film.
Yeah, and it really hurt.
The Hitchhiker?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Go watch The Hitchhiker.
And I was posted up in there with Kieran on and off, shooting one scene over and over for like hours.
Oh, that's right.
What scene was that?
In
It was in Morningstar.
Oh, when
yeah.
he like comes up to the
When
glass.
the devil
Yeah.
comes up and, you yeah.
Yeah,
we're
nice.
just plugging films.
Yeah, we're just plugging extra ad films.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, you mean
you
Morningstar?
guys might have thought you came here to
Nobody
listen to
cares
Anora.
about this.
yeah.
Everyone cares about this.
Skip to 1 hour and 28 minutes when we finally start talking about Anora.
Someday there's gonna be somebody that stumbles onto this podcast once we're like mega rich and famous,
Okay.
and
yeah.
this is for them.
Yeah, as it is.
We're here for you.
We love you.
But
They'll be like, hey, isn't that plumber, Michael? Yeah, I think it is.
I'm Plumber Mike. Yeah, he's got the Vans with the Plumber Mike on them.
You son of a bitch.
He's got the nice hair, yeah. And the bald guy too. He works with him. Yeah, they clean my pipes out.
All right.
Gets dripping wet. Yeah, that's the guy.
All right.
Can we talk about Anora, please?
Let's talk about it.
This is so Kellen, I want to hear give me your initial
This is
thoughts.
your first time
of Anora.
watching it. This is Max's second time.
Yep.
This is my fourth time.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much to talk about in this film, guys. In Anora.
Yes.
There's lots to talk about in Anora.
Thank you, man. You're crushing it.
Dude, it's because I love you, man.
Thanks.
Suka blyat.
So in this film, Anora,
I mean, what struck me first was the hyper realism, like the way actors kind of talked over each other in the way that I think a lot of us do in reality. Everybody does. It's that sort of like quick back and forth. It's not that sort of like you can really tell when an actor has like memorized a line 100 times over and they say it like really carefully.
Yeah.
The acting was awesome.
I wonder what the script was like. It was just like text overlaid on top of text.
Yeah, it was
just like
it was just like,
Yeah.
like double text all the way through.
Yeah. Just
And-
like, okay, there's 10 lines. All of you say those 10 lines at the same time. And that's what it felt like.
I have
It was awesome.
seen like Noah Baumbach is pretty famous for having dialogue like that where it's like overlaid. And his approach is they're literally side by side.
Got it. Okay.
So it's probably what it was. I did see the script and like a little section of it for Anora, and it is kind of funny. Like it's just like they have sex in the bathroom, then they have sex in the room. Yeah,
There are some really I don't think this is a spoiler because we already said they have sex. There's some really funny sex cutaways.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
the editing.
The editing
In
is
this movie
awesome.
is
All
so
Sean
funny.
Baker.
Yeah.
by
The
the way. Shout out.
the hard cuts, the smash cuts in this are so good. And they're like very consistent throughout the whole film. There's these amazing comedic smash cuts that are awesome.
Mhm.
It's like one thing's happening and then boom, sex.
There's so much just like kinetic energy too, like the camera movements. the,
Oh
like,
yeah, there's a
the
lot of zooms. Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of zooms are awesome.
So fun.
That zoom of him leaving the church
Yeah.
is awesome.
and
so-
and
It's
like,
like put that hooker on the phone so she can hear me.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my god.
yeah, awesome. He's
Yeah.
like walking down the steps of the
So-
church with that line.
Yeah.
For me, I was just like, oh, nice.
Yeah, yeah, dude.
That's so
yeah,
cool.
yeah, it was
That's something
awesome.
I want to get into later because that little chunk of film
Yeah,
is
yeah. Talk about that.
incredible. Yeah, I don't know. This guy, I'm just really happy to see a filmmaker. Like, for people that don't know, $6 million is nothing
Yeah.
for a film. Like, that is bottom of the barrel. Like, they had helicopter pilots to man cameras in this film,
Mhm.
like that in itself, getting the permitting and all that shit, like $6 million is not a lot. And this guy edited, he wrote the film, he directed it. I mean, it's incredible.
Now I'm curious because I read a factoid that Sean Baker and his team ended up spending another 16 million in Oscar advertising. But in the initial 6 million, like what's the rule of thumb? It's like 70% of your budget goes to advertising. Pretty much.
I don't know.
I'm not sure. Actually.
I mean, it's a lot.
I don't think, because the way Sean Baker made this, it wasn't necessarily tied to a studio. Like, it was like independently made. with
Yeah,
6
Yeah.
From what I understand, he made it, and it got into Cannes,
Yeah.
selected, and then it won Cannes, and I think after that it got picked up by Neon,
Then Neon.
and then
puts
Neon
money
puts the rest of the
into
money up for the Oscar
that.
push.
That would make the most sense.
Yeah.
More bang for your buck going the festival route. Did he submit to any other festivals? Do we know?
I don't know, but
Don't know.
yeah.
Because like he knocked it out of the park. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
with
My
the Palme
goodness.
d'Or, that's like,
That's almost better than the Oscars. I feel like.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like
It's more
internationally,
pretentious.
oh, for sure.
Surprisingly.
Yeah.
Palme d'Or.
There's something out there that's more pretentious than the Oscars.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's just cool to see because a lot of independently made movies like this don't get celebrated.
no,
And there's so many good ones out there.
Also, like in the film world, there has been this like fear of the middle class of films going away. You know, you have your huge blockbusters and those smaller indie films. They're like, those don't exist anymore. That's what we keep hearing from all these, I don't know, I guess YouTubers and all, you know, you just hear that in the zeitgeist, that like our way of making films is just not possible anymore. And then to see that win all the way up to the Oscars in 2025 is, I mean, it just fills me with so much hope. Like there's a chance, you know, like we could make something that could be recognized like that.
It was a Cinderella story.
Yeah.
Them making it to the Oscars.
In itself. Wow.
Winning. Yeah. And the Palme d'Or.
Great.
Truly.
Very much so. Yeah.
Which is so fitting.
Yeah.
It is. And there's so much care and heart put into this film. Like every shot, every setup, all the characters, the writing, the dialogue, it was just like, there's so much put into this that you could tell it was just handled with care, and it was awesome.
Mikey Madison
crushed it,
what
dude.
The fuck, man.
She was incredible.
Killed this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She is going to be like the next Meryl Streep. Better.
Whoa. High praise.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, she and Igor, the Gopnik,
yes.
I think they were my favorite characters. Like, I don't know about you guys, but like, I know a handful of exotic dancers, and I know a handful who are like kind of that character embodied.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I can think of one in particular. If you're watching, I'm sorry. but like extremely combative to a fault.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But so like cocksure. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Her character was awesome. And by the way, Mikey Madison, holy shit. Like she got the moves down. She studied for this role.
Yeah.
Because like, I mean, you know, yeah, I know. I'm a guy. Women, boobs, women are hot. That's not what I'm talking about here. She had the moves down pat. Like,
yeah,
she sold it for me.
She killed it.
100%.
In a very realistic way.
Yeah.
I thought that was very, very cool.
Sean Baker talked about a lot of the club scenes and the way they shot it. They actually did it with music running in the club. And he just like put a long lens on his camera and he just followed her at the club. And for probably like a couple hours, she was just like doing it. Like just full improv.
Damn.
That's so cool.
Going through the club, interacting with customers.
Yeah. And if people don't know, like usually if you're filming a movie in a club, it's silent.
Yeah.
There's no they don't put any music on because you want the dialogue to be really clear.
Yeah.
So the fact that they had like natural music going on, it also, you can tell, like it adds to the neo-realism. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Of the film where it's
born of the neo-realism movement.
Yeah, it's awesome. It just makes it feel so grounded. It's incredible. I don't know. I'm just like blown away by how real all the dialogue feels.
Yeah.
It feels like you're just in that world and it's a documentary.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah. Like it really did give like a fly on the wall feel. And I think that was another thing that really struck me right off the bat was like the oneers.
Mm-hmm.
Like after I think maybe 15 minutes in, it clicked for me and I was like, whoa, this is like one take for this long ass scene. And they're just nailing it.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Yeah. Another thing that really sells it too is like on the second watch, I noticed a lot of characters are sometimes like obstructed.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a leg up blocking a face, or they come into a tight quarters and like you hear the performance, but you don't see them because they're being blocked. Like you wouldn't have that in a normal film. They'd be like, all right, let's make sure we get good coverage. We want to see their faces, you know? But this was like, they didn't care. They're just like, yeah, it's just in the scene. You're just in it. And that's how they walked into the place. That's how you're going to see it. We're not going to make sure that you can see them perfectly. There was care put into the blocking, but you know, like I don't know, that just adds to the documentary, like kind of feel of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's a really good point, you know? And that also ties in with the characters, in a way, you know, if you think about it, like the Russian characters and the Russian family, especially like Vanya, you know, like everything they did, that felt like a movie. That felt very glorified, you know, and very lavish and
Well, that's
almost too perfect. It's
the fairy tale
right?
part,
And
yeah.
like also like a bit of the dialogue too.
Mhm.
And like I noticed the blocking was clear, you know, except for maybe some of the like club shots.
Yeah.
But when it sort of reverted back to Anora's perspective, you know, and the perspective of others, it was a lot more like shaky and just like, you know, there were those heavy moments of realism that like you really encounter in real life that, man.
Yeah, and to be able to
so much
capture
weight.
that. Yeah.
That contrast is really cool.
Yeah. Something that I really like about Sean Baker is that he nails the environment that he's shooting in. Because like Florida Project obviously is in Florida. Red Rocket is in Texas, and I grew up in Texas, and like to see the way he represented that culture was so spot on.
Nice.
Like he's kind of like the Robert Eggers of like rural America.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Nice. Yeah.
And I just love it when a writer, director puts that much care into the environment, the people that they're representing, you know, because so many movies, like if, you know, fucking Michael Bay directed this movie, right? Or
God.
yeah.
What would that look like?
Oh my God.
It would not
Be horrible.
be praised in the way it is right now.
I don't think it would have won an Oscar.
No, first of all, it wouldn't have even been just like some Armenian, like, you know, goons or whatever. It would have been Russian gangsters.
Oh yeah, for
Who
sure.
are
Shootouts.
robots.
Who are
Yeah.
robots.
And they would have had Megan Fox with like slow-mo like tracking shots, a bunch of yellow light, and like maybe some like glitter.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like they'd have a lot of that.
I think I didn't expect to sorry, I just have a stroke.
Drink some water.
I can't get it. Okay. It's all the way over there. I can't get it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Team, can we? There's nobody back there. Literally.
Really funny cutaway.
Yeah, such a good
There's
cutaway to
nobody there.
nobody behind the cameras. We're all here. No, I wasn't expecting this movie to be so funny going into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is so funny, and it is also such an adventure film. I also didn't expect it to be this like grand quest. It seemed like almost, which is awesome. So I'm just super impressed by the comedy and the scale of it.
Why don't we? Who is this film for? I have an answer.
Yeah, go for it. I don't know.
I was thinking about this because I think the way he represents the culture of like sex work, he did it so delicately because it does represent it positively, but it also doesn't shy away from the fact that like men are fucking gross. You know, it's hard profession to be working in. And while it's accepted, it's not glorified, you know? And I think it's really relatable for just the working man, you know?
Jason Statham.
The working woman, I should say. But really anybody, like, it made me think of my time working at Red Robin. You know, fuck Red Robin. Might have to bleep that out.
Yeah, why? Red Robin makes good burgers, and we would love their sponsorship.
Did you shake your ass at Red Robin?
I had to shake my ass all day.
Dude, are you a white man comparing your Red Robin time to sex work, dude? I would think again about that.
Listen, the amount of unlimited fries that motherfuckers order basically raped me. Okay?
Oh my God. That is a ridiculous statement. Dude, you can't say that.
Yeah,
dude. You can't say that.
My agent told you. If you ever said some shit like that again, I would be off the pod. And Michael, this is the last straw. You can't be saying that.
Don't worry, dude. I have a graphic for this where I can cut it out.
No, dude, that's really funny. Obviously, you're not doing that.
No,
But, yeah.
obviously.
Yeah.
Don't clip that. Don't clip that.
I do think though that it's very relatable for like anybody, because nobody wants to be working a fucking dead end job.
Right.
You know what I mean? And there's this huge separation in class in our country right now, where the middle class is almost completely dissolved.
Yeah.
You know, you're able to afford to buy a house and have a family, or you're fucking living in an apartment paycheck to paycheck, you know? And I think that's what's beautiful about this movie is it's very relatable. And like we're kind of touching on, it's like a fairy tale for a lot of it, you know?
Yeah.
And then it turns into what it turns into.
And there's a big switch that we won't get into
we
yet.
won't get into yet.
Except unless you say that it's time.
Yeah, I mean, do you guys have anything else to say about who it's for?
I think this movie is for my friend Chase. He's a sick bloke, one of my oldest and best friends, but he's a tatted up jewelry artist in London. And this dude just kind of assimilated himself with like so many like grimy, weird characters who are all very real people, who all share like incredibly real and visceral experiences. And like a guy like Chase is interested in people like that. He's interested in the reality, you know? Maybe not so much the fairy tale veil that we all often fall for, but yeah, if you're anything like Chase and you're interested in what real life looks like, I think this is a good film for you.
Shout out Chase. Yeah, I mean, I would say this is a good movie for anybody that likes documentaries too.
True.
Facts. Honestly, all of Sean Baker's movies, like they all have that neo-realist feel to them.
Agreed. I don't know. I think most people will enjoy this film.
Yeah.
And that's shown by the Academy's choice and the Palme d'Or. You know, like it resonated with so many people that's why it did so well in the festival and in the Oscars. So yeah, I think if you're into film, you're gonna love this movie. If you're not into film, you're gonna appreciate all of the aspects of it. And you may not understand exactly like why it looks so beautiful or why it feels so real, but you're gonna love every second of it, and it's gonna take you on a journey. You're gonna laugh. You're gonna think about a lot of things.
Yeah.
And it is very. It's just a master class in filmmaking.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
It's like one of the rare movies that marries like a not blockbuster, but just a very entertaining movie with an art house film.
It reminded me a lot of Magnolia.
Yeah.
Small scale story, but huge scale, or I guess, I don't know, like how do you put it? Like Magnolia spans so many different characters. This one obviously is cut down a bit, but like it doesn't feel like a huge blockbuster because all the stories are so personal to each character, but it is a big film.
Massive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It felt a lot like that to me, where like the story was so big in this very small scale, you know, just like one Russian family, you know, one stripper. That was in the trailer. One Russian family, one stripper. The Cinderella story. The Cinderella story you never knew you wanted.
And two Armenians.
And two
stumbling
Armenians.
all over the place.
And one Igor.
All right, well, let's get into spoilers.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
This is a spoiler warning. Consider yourself warned.
Let's talk about the whole, the goons coming into the house, Toros finding out the wedding is real or the marriage is real.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
the ticking clock put on that scene is incredible.
Yeah.
Also, take it away with how that scene starts because it's so freaking funny.
Okay, yeah. This is hilarious. So, Toros, he's in a church, and is it a
it's like a baptism.
Yeah, baptism for a baby.
For a baby.
Yeah, I think that's his baby.
No, I don't think so. It's the family's baby, but he's the lead.
He's like the godfather or something, right?
He's the guy who's supposed to baptize the child.
He's the godfather of Vanya.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, I think he was there as like I think that was his wife and kids. The whole time he's talking about how like his wife and his family is never going to talk to him again. I think he skipped out on like his son's baptism.
Oh, no way.
That's why he was so pissed.
That's
crazy, dude.
Yeah. If that's true, I did not pick up on that.
Yeah.
Either way, it's still very funny.
I think
whole
that's a
scenario.
funny way to read it. For sure.
That could be true. For
yeah,
sure.
it could be. Yeah, so that's happening. Meanwhile, the two goons, Igor and
Grasnik.
What is it?
Yeah.
Grasnik?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it was
Grosnik.
Grosnik?
It's Grosnik.
Okay. I'll just go with it.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound right, but
Fact check me, bro.
no. We don't do fact checking on this podcast.
You cut to the clip of Michael saying, I'm going to have you fact check so much stuff.
Okay, fact check it. Anyways, Grosnik, Igor, they're going to the house because, well, first of all,
Garnick.
Garnick.
Yeah, not Grosnik.
Grosnik is a sick name, though.
Yeah,
That is a sick name.
That's a whiff.
Hey, write that down.
Strike one, Sean Baker. No, just kidding.
So first of all, Anora and Vanya get married in Vegas.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Very just last minute thing. And the two goons catch wind of this and they go to the mansion to confirm whether or not he married what they say is a prostitute.
They didn't catch wind. The mom caught wind in Russia.
The mom caught wind in Russia.
Sent them. Yeah.
She contacted Toros, and those were Toros's guys.
Yeah.
Toros sent them to go take care of it.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put like a whole blueprint of
this happened, and then this happened. This happens, so therefore this happens.
Yeah. Or people can just watch the movie.
Yeah.
Just watch it. It's good.
Dude, anyway, they break in, or they kind of force their way in.
They break in.
They find
Vanya still has a boner.
yeah. Hilarious. I love how like he thinks that no one can get in the house, and then everyone has a key card that it just unlocks the door.
But so they go in the house and they find the marriage certificate. They take a picture, send it to Toros. Toros is in the middle of the baptism.
He's holding a baby.
He hikes up his robe to dig into his pocket and looks down. Another guy like looks as well, and he checks it, and he's no.
Dude, that no is so good. It's so awesome.
It's so visceral.
Yeah.
Like, you know how that feels to be in that situation.
Yeah.
But then he talks to the mom, and the mom, says she's coming or whatever to America, and he just fucking rushes out of the church. And in a very awkward, like, oh, bye, everyone.
I'm so sorry. It's an emergency. Like, they stop singing.
Yeah.
It gets quiet.
Yeah.
And, like, everyone starts murmuring and, like, looking at him. Like,
incredible.
And then he just storms out of the church. He's just, put that fucking hooker on the phone.
And
put that whore on the phone so she can hear me, too.
Yeah. That's what it was.
Dude, and, like, there's so many subtle ways that they do the dialogue where you get this like understanding of the characters' dynamics, and then also that one in particular sets up this like impending force that is the parents, coming from Russia, which is really cool.
Another thing too that I want to note that I think is really important and is something that I really picked up on this time is in the very beginning of the film, you know, when they meet and, you know, she's working at the strip club, Vanya is at the strip club as well. And she's dancing on him. He asks her, do you work outside of the club? Right. And she doesn't say yes ever. You know, she just says, give me your phone. Mm-hmm. The whole time, people from his family, the goons, they're all calling her a whore, a prostitute, a hooker. And she is not at all. She's just a stripper who had sex with one of her clients, presumably like doesn't do it a lot, you know.
God forbid a woman has a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God forbid.
Ally alert. That's from plug that guy, Joffrey.
Joffrey Asmus.
Yeah,
great.
Joffrey.
Love you, man. If you're out there,
amazing bit. Ally alert.
Yeah, so funny. No, but I think it's like the way that it's represented is so kind of tragic, you know, and it's very upsetting because nobody has any boundary or respect for her because they have this thought of what she is. But
she's trash to them.
Yeah, but we follow her throughout the movie and like she is a normal person, you know. And I just thought it was really sad to see the way that people generalize her because of her profession, you know, and also it's like a gross generalization. It's not even necessarily true.
But it also kind of makes sense for her character to be so combative, you know, so aggressive. But also you get to see that tender side of her. Like when she like, you know, you see the sort of fake tenderness, right? With like the clients, you know, coming up to people like, hey, mind if I sit? Okay, sure. Like, you know.
Or even the mom when she first meets the mom and
right.
she's like, you know, speaking Russian to her.
Yeah. But like, I think of like when she's in bed with Vanya.
Yeah.
And like the way she looks at him, I think that was like, except for maybe the end, was one of the truest moments of vulnerability for her character.
Yeah.
But it makes sense because people will step all over you in that line of work unless you are that way.
Yeah. Yeah. I loved how they would hold shots on her through like whole scenes. Like they would just, like when she's in bed with Vanya for like the first time, they just hold on her and Vanya's like in the foreground, but out of focus the whole time. And you're really seeing like her thought process, you know, like her going through her feelings and trying to like figure out how she is feeling about this guy.
Yeah.
You know, and it's so complex.
There was one shot that really stuck out to me this time. And I thought it was brilliant because I think there is a little bit of a, like a play on audience expectations with the Russians and Armenians. The way it plays out, you do feel like, oh shit, like something could go down, something pretty gnarly, right? And as soon as they're married, they're like, he's playing video games in the living room, right? And she's like cuddled up on him and you see his phone flashing off. The shot starts on the phone flashing. It doesn't cut. But the whole time you're hearing gunfire from the video game. I thought that was a really interesting, like subconscious editing technique to build that tension of like what you think is about to come. Yeah. And then it goes from the phone to her hand wrapped around him and you see her ring.
See the ring, yep.
And then, you know, it's a close up on her just looking at him. But also it just like represents the two characters so well because she's very much like she wants to live out this fantasy, you know, she has feelings for him, whether they're, you know, wrapped up in this fantasy that she has of breaking free from the life that she's been stuck in, or if she actually has feelings for him. But then you see him and he's just this immature little prick just playing video games, you know, all day smoking weed.
And playing a game really focused and intensely using the D-pad instead of the joystick. He's like, oh yeah, hang on, I'm doing a mission, and I see him and he's just tapping the D-pad and I'm like, no you're not.
Yeah.
You're just cycling through the menu.
That's That's awesome.
That's so funny you say that because I was listening to the Elevator Pitch pod and they had the exact same note.
Yeah.
They're like, that guy's not a real gamer.
No, dude,
yeah,
that's my
yeah.
issue with like every video game thing.
Yeah.
And like even our ad that we did
I
that we
know.
won't talk about.
It's hard, dude.
It's tough.
You know what, man? I'll give him some credit. At least for me, a person that's a very casual gamer, it is hard to act like you're gaming.
Yeah, because
It's
it
very
is
expressive.
It's
You
very,
gotta be the
it's
game.
very subtle.
Yeah.
When you are
Yeah.
gaming, it is very subtle. You get a few clicks here and there, but like when you need sound bites of like, you know,
Yeah.
joysticks clicking and
Yeah,
buttons.
he's just
clicking.
going for it. He's
You
just
just
pressing
gotta-
all the buttons at one time.
Yeah.
That's
Such a button.
It was
master.
interesting. Like this is on my second watch. My perspective was completely different because you know where it's going.
Yeah.
And on the first watch, I was really connected to Anora and her want to stay in the fantasy, even though Vanya was being, you know, a prick. Obviously, I was like, I wanted it for her, you know.
Yeah.
And this time around, like when Tauros gets to the house, I totally see where Tauros is coming from.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, this isn't real. Like you're like, and like he's just some dickhead kid. Like you shouldn't be with him at all. And like that was a cool shift for me on the second watch.
I agree because the first time you watch it, it's like, I mean, any experience that you have, you know, being younger, like being in love with somebody, right? And it's so naive, just like, oh, we're so in love. This is gonna work out
forever.
for sure.
Yeah, she's like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be married forever.
They've been together 2 weeks
Yeah,
and they're already married.
exactly.
you see everything
Flag.
you want to see.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
that's-
She says, I'm gonna be with him forever after he's already left. Like he's
yeah.
just abandoned her.
And she's like, I think I already have his baby.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
That does
Met a
bring
few
up
of those.
okay. Well, that does
Got
bring
some
up
crazy lines this podcast, bro. Own it, dude. Own it.
I don't know what that was.
Yeah,
Michael,
that was dumb. All
you
right.
have the eyes.
No, I don't.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. He's just kidding around.
No, what I would like to talk about though is that brings up an interesting question. What does Anora, our protagonist, want? Does she want true love, or is she clinging to this like ideal fantasy life? Does she want money, or does she seek security?
I think that's a great question. I don't think it's just one answer.
Yeah.
I think this movie is so complex, and especially the way they leave you, like there's just so much to chew on.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if it were like I'm in her shoes and the experience, like watching it the first time, the way I interpreted the fantasy is like breaking away from that bullshit job that you have to work, you know, and she obviously like hates her living situation. She doesn't like her roommate very
Her
much.
roommate sucks.
Yeah.
That's her sister.
Is it?
Yeah.
What? Where are you guys getting all this information? I've seen this movie 4 times.
Yeah.
what do you
Okay.
mean?
You're dumb. That's her sister.
I thought her sister lived in Miami.
No, her mom lives in Miami. Her sister lives in the apartment with her.
Well, I say that because like she's like, what about Miami? You can meet my mom and you can come visit my sister anytime.
You can come visit my sister anytime. She
New
lives in
York.
New York. She
Oh.
lives with her.
You know
Wow.
what? You're right. Give me one. Give me one now. Yes.
Hell yeah.
Props.
But yeah, I mean, at least for me, you know, I was enacting my own fantasy. Like, damn, like I just need to meet a little Russian kid that's gonna break me at not.
Wait.
Dude, you're canceled from your own podcast, bro. You're canceled from your own.
we are cutting out.
No.
Yeah,
Wait,
No.
I'm
That's
cutting
so
out.
funny, dude.
No.
That's so
That
funny.
sounded so bad.
Yeah,
That's
it's
not the way
hilarious.
meant it.
I know it wasn't.
He is a littler
He-
person.
Yeah,
Michael,
no, he's
my agent explicitly told you.
No, dude, that's so
I
funny,
hate
bro.
myself.
Such a funny
Okay.
line.
Well, anyways,
We obviously know that that's not what you meant, but please continue.
Just bleep out the word kid.
This little Russian.
This little Russian fuck.
Anyways, the fantasy of meeting somebody that breaks you out of that bullshit
takes
life.
you out of your regular life, moves
Yeah.
you up to a higher class. That's something anybody can relate to.
Isn't that like, don't we all have that kind of fantasy? I don't know about you guys. I've been manifesting like some old man. I help him across the street one day.
Oh, yours is an old man?
Yeah, old man.
Uh-huh.
I'm not like you. And you're not like us.
Oh my god! Damn, bro.
Okay, please don't do that to me, man.
Awesome.
Please don't do that
Let me
to me.
elaborate.
It's really good.
So
That was good.
thank you.
Crushing it.
I help an old man across the street. He thanks me towards the end. He says, you seem like a nice young man. You remind me of myself when I was your age. Here's $10 million.
Yeah.
Go start a new life. I've been manifesting that for years.
And
That's
then
amazing.
he continues to walk the street and then gets hit by a bus.
Yeah, he's
then
like,
it's taken away.
take this number so long as I live and breathe. like you'll get your money. Like immediately gets creamed by a bus.
Yeah, 100%.
That's a great movie idea.
That is good.
Ooh,
That is
and it's
funny.
a journey of trying to. Oh my god!
Yes, yes.
Write it
Write it down. Write that
Write that
down.
down. Oh god!
Right, that
I think there was a lovely stripper in the club that said it best. You hit the lotto, bitch.
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like hitting the lottery.
Shut the fuck up, Diamond.
Oh yeah,
Oh
Diamond.
yeah, dude. Okay, Diamond
Awesome.
was great.
She
Okay,
crushed
she was
it, dude.
awful.
She crushed it. I hated her
I
so
hated
much.
her so much, but she was
Good work.
great.
Good
And
work.
also, she within the first 10 minutes of the movie, and this is good storytelling, ladies and gentlemen, she predicted the outcome of the movie.
Foreshadowing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And it's foreshadowing you don't want to believe.
Yes, and for
No,
those
you're like,
folks
very
at
no,
home,
it's gonna
tragic.
work out.
she says, "I give it 2 weeks, bitch."
Awesome.
Like pretty, yeah, damn.
Awesome. She
I
called
hope
it
Diamond's
on the
a betting
nose.
girl.
She called it on the nose too. At the end of the thing, it's like that was exactly 2 weeks.
Yeah.
That was like in the interview where he's like, "I'm gonna do a tell-all at the end."
Yeah.
Have you guys seen the interview?
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's like, "You're not gonna do a tell-all," and then at the end, he's literally reading his tell-all.
Yeah.
It's like I love that stuff. That's
My
so
dad
fun.
thinks margaritas are gay. I love that movie.
That movie is awesome. There's a moment at the very beginning that sets up Diamond and her, or like Anora's relationship so well. It's like, hey, when Robert was in like last week, did you dance with him? And she was like, yeah. And that's such a simple interaction, but it tells you everything you need to know about these two characters.
Yeah.
Like she's just trying to make money. There was obviously some jealousy between Robert and whatever, which gives Diamond so much motive later on in the film.
It's a good Chekhov's gun.
Awesome.
Yeah, dude, there were a lot of like really quick setups like that.
The Ring.
Yeah, The Ring.
Mm-hmm.
What else? There were some in the beginning that were like, and that was really good storytelling as well.
The
Like,
drugs.
the-
Don't take all of them.
Yeah, immediately
He just
takes all of them. Yeah.
immediately takes all of them.
The drugs. I think I might be more thinking of like, the depth of characters. Like, and again that.
Yeah, less surface level stuff like you're talking about.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Something more deep, Michael.
Sorry, guys. I'm blowing it.
No.
Older salad.
Tiny baby penis syndrome.
Okay.
Shout out Jonah Hill.
I wasn't trying to be pretentious, but
No,
but-
please,
But
please
that was
continue.
more like giving credit to the realism of the film.
Yeah.
Like where it feels very real and like as though you're like, walking with your friend and you're meeting all of their friends for the first time in succession, and you can already like, picture them just like being real people in
Yeah.
the world with like a connection to
Yeah.
what you know
Right.
in the story.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of the setups for characters and for events were like that.
It was amazing.
It was well done.
Can we go back to the interrogation scene? The editing during that scene where Tauros is on the way to to the house, the mansion. The editing there is insane. Cutting between like him on speaker to him in the car to them in the in the mansion. Like all of that chaos was so juicy, incredible, ticking clock, awesome. And there's I think my favorite shot of this film so far on this watch was she has been gagged by the scarf, and Toros gives her that talk, which basically breaks her, like he said he was going to. And when he removes the gag, it's a very, very tight shot on her eyes, and she like adjusts her hair, and you get like a second to like really take in what she's thinking, and then it pans down to her mouth, and she says like, I'm not saying anything until I talk to Vanya. And that shot was so awesome, dude. That close-up shot was incredible.
There were a lot of good close-ups in this of her.
Like, just, it told you everything you needed to know about like how she was feeling. It was awesome.
Yeah.
It was so cool.
Really powerful stuff.
There were a lot of triple beats as
well.
well.
Yes, the scarf had a triple beat.
Scarf had a triple beat.
Mm-hmm.
That was a good motif that came up. And
should we talk about the triple beat? Which is the gag. Then she uses it, and then Igor gives it to her as a gift, which she rejects at first to cover her neck when she was cold. And then at the end, when she's getting the divorce or filing the annulment papers, she throws it at the mom.
Wait, let's think about the action in these scenes, because the scarf initially is used to silence her. Then it is used to comfort her. And then it is used to empower her.
Yes.
Damn.
Wow. That's
Incredible.
a good scarf.
Brain blast.
But also, let's see, the 3 beats of comedy with Anora like lashing out at the Armenian goons and being tied up.
So funny, dude.
Yeah, that was great. And also, again, the realism, like a grown man picking up like, an average woman, and like the struggle was very visceral.
Yeah.
But also like, she's not totally helpless.
No,
I don't think like most women out there are not. And if they have a chance to kick you in the face.
Oh yeah, dude.
Have you ever been kicked in the face by a woman, Michael?
Not by a woman.
I have.
It hurts, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does Brie kick you? Blink twice. You guys don't have stairs.
I fell down the ground.
That's awesome.
Yeah, the invasion scene of the mansion is one of my favorite parts of that movie, because it's literally just like a Three Stooges comedy for like a good
so
10,
awesome.
15 minutes.
Totally. Like every that was man. Like what are you doing? Untie her.
Yeah.
Like Igor's like, no.
Don't do that, bro.
you don't want that.
She's an animal, man. Yeah. Don't do that.
She breaks his nose. They tie her up again. Like Toros comes in. Like what are you doing? Untie her. And they're both like, no.
Don't
You're
do
a grown man. What? You got beat up by a little girl? They're like,
she doesn't hit like little girl.
Such a good line.
That's awesome.
Oh,
I also love how in that scene, like, they destroy every piece of furniture. Like, they knock over every vase, everything that was on the table, and then it inevitably ends with the glass breaking. That like coffee table.
Oh yeah.
So funny. I loved how just everything gets knocked over.
Everything gets broken on that set.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's great.
I love it.
I think one of the interesting parts of the dynamic between the goons and Anora is obviously Anora is a sex worker, probably lower class. The goons, you don't really know what class they are per se. One could assume they're also lower class, especially Igor. You kind of know he's lower class, but
because he's bald.
Yeah. No, because he said he lives with his grandma and he's driving his grandma's car.
No, yeah, I know.
Not all bald guys are poor.
Jeff Bezos is bald.
Hey, we hate him.
He doesn't care.
I know.
What?
He's got too much money to care.
Yeah. Anyways,
I use Amazon a lot. I don't hate Jeff Bezos.
I hate you.
Okay.
I did get a lot of stuff on Amazon.
I was gonna say we order all kinds of stuff on Amazon. It's made my life extremely easy.
Boxes. Anyways, the goons, they have a very transactional relationship with their clients as well, you know, and they very much have to cater to these Russian oligarchs, you know, and there's I think something that makes great characters is when there's tension. They want something different, but they're similar to each other. You know?
Yeah.
Like that's what makes Avengers Endgame so great. Thanos wants world peace. The Avengers want world peace, but they want it in two very different ways.
It's true. That's a good
I hate
poll.
you so much.
What? Fuck you, dude.
No, that's a good poll.
Oh, you did good in the Avenger movie? You like highbrow cinema?
What was really good about Schindler's List is that it really reminded me of this episode of Ben 10.
Okay, yes, sure. But you have to dumb it down for some of the people, okay?
Whoa, our audience is smart, dude. What are you talking about?
Well, there might be some dumb guy out there. It's not you.
Yeah, no, it's not you at all.
No. Yeah. Just one guy watching this like, hey,
I like Ben 10.
wait a minute.
But, you know, I think it's just cool to have two characters. They want the same thing, but they want it in different ways, you know?
I love how all the characters have their own motivations.
Yeah.
It's awesome. And it's very clearly shown. And Igor tries to leave.
Yeah.
Like right after the mansion scene, they're going to the car to find Vanya. And he's like, can I go? Like, am I done?
Yeah.
Like he doesn't even want to stick around.
Mm.
Because he's like, I don't want to be a part of this. This is like not my thing.
It's his birthday.
It's his, yeah. He's like, oh yeah.
It's literally his
100%.
birthday.
Yeah.
And
He's like,
that's-
yeah, can I go?
That's where it like
Oh
it
my
reminds
God.
me
Yeah.
of working in the service industry. You know, it's like sometimes you just have to fucking eat the shit and work on your birthday, you know?
Yeah,
or-
dude. Bree works in the service industry, and she works every single holiday.
Yeah.
She worked on Christmas Day.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
Yeah.
And I mean,
But-
I imagine goons like that also have to work, you know? On all the holidays.
Are you killing her? Are you killing her? Over the speakerphone.
Yeah. Such a good
Yeah,
one.
goons got to work on the holidays. Yeah. Sometimes you got to.
They were working on New Year's.
They did work on New Year's.
You know, the transactional relationships is that is a theme throughout the movie. The parents toward Vanya, you know, I'm sure they, you know, maybe they love their kid
Maybe.
in some kind of way, but it seems as though they just like give him whatever he wants, and he's a spoiled brat, obviously.
Oh yeah.
Well, and his whole thing, I feel like they view him more as an asset rather than an offspring, you
Mhm.
know? Because his whole anxiety comes from the fact that he has to work for his dad, and that's looming, you know? for him.
Totally. And like, I think he knows that. And like, the only way he gets attention is when he acts out.
Yeah.
It's like, there are a lot of mentions about like how many times he got in trouble and like what he did, like dumping 4 pounds of Kool-Aid
Yeah.
powder into the
$87,000 in damage, I think is what they said in that.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
funny.
It's not a new thing. And like, they said that right off the bat, like
Yeah.
he does this shit all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
Then the ending. There's this big buildup, you know. Anora.
Can we, before we get to the ending,
What?
can we talk about the candy shop?
Oh, thank God.
Just right before, I know we get to the
Thank
ending because
God
it's amazing,
you
but
mentioned it because
candy shop.
Billy, dude.
oh,
Billy,
what the hell happened?
That punch suit?
Dude, he's my favorite part of a movie in 2024, hands down.
So awesome,
He
dude.
goes out, his ears are poking out. He's a little bit cross-eyed. He's just, what the hell? that was one of my favorite parts of the movie by far.
Oh yeah.
He is such a highlight of the movie. He's just such a cute little old man.
Yeah.
And he's just so cool.
And tell us about what's his relation to the film?
Well, I saw a like news piece on the shop, and the actual owner of the shop was talking about. He's like, yeah, no, he's not the owner, and everything. But
He's a local.
no, yeah, he's
Yeah.
a local.
Yeah.
He worked at that candy shop since he was like really young. He would like valet in that area and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
So he was like very local. And I just think it's so cool to, I don't know, just see those characters.
Yeah.
Those local characters. Like,
Yeah.
everybody has a person in their community that also is like a highlight of the community,
Definitely.
with a lot of character. And I don't know. I just think it was so cool.
There are a few of those, with that sort of nod toward neorealism.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the lady swimmer,
Yeah.
the polar bear dipper.
Polar plunger.
Awesome.
Yeah, polar plunger.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like towards the end, I was able to see which scenes were scripted and which ones were like our actors going out into the world and interacting with real people.
Yeah.
When Toros was in that diner and was just asking people, like
Yeah.
all those dudes, like who all looked like DJ Khaled.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like they were like, no, like, go away.
Yeah.
And he just like blew up at them like this is what's wrong with your generation.
Yeah.
Like all of you were spoiled. You go TikTok, Instagram. That was awesome. He just
So
went on a rant.
funny.
He started going
Yeah.
table to table.
Yeah.
So cool.
I've been working since I was 16 years old. Yeah, it's awesome.
That's what was so funny to me, because that reminded me of the Armenians in my family. Very much.
Wow.
Like they have a very old school sentiment, when I was younger, I made a life for myself and blah blah blah. I don't know. I just thought it was so funny. And I agree. I feel like that scene was probably not scripted. I feel like a lot of the like more public interactions with some crowds, especially in Vegas, when they're just like on the strip and he's like, she's my wife.
Yeah.
you know, like just stuff like that. It's so cool.
That's awesome. Yeah, I agree.
Guys, I think we need to talk about the ending.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That ending. Who wants to go first?
Okay.
I'll lead us. I'll
All right,
guide us.
go for it. Go for it.
The whole time, Anora is a very strong character. She is tough as nails. She bites back, both physically and emotionally. And the whole time you can kind of feel this bottled up tension that's bottling up inside of her, because there's not a lot of resolve in what's going on with the dramatic tension. And then the ending. Igor has the ring that Toros had taken from her engagement ring, and he gives it to her in the car before she goes to her apartment. And then you go ahead. You take it from here. I don't want to talk about it.
Then she reciprocates the only way I feel like she knows how, through what she does for work, I guess. Right? I mean, the way she shows affection, it's always been transactional this whole time. So she feels like she needs to do something nice for him, I guess.
Well, yeah, maybe. Or perhaps like she's reciprocating in the way that she thinks that's what he wants.
Oh, yeah, that's a great point.
So like she's kind of pleasing others, but like all she takes for herself is financial.
Oh, yes.
That's an interesting way to look at it, because out of all of the men in the movie, Igor is the only one that doesn't want something from her. He doesn't look at her like an object like the rest of the men in her life do. he looks at her as this person who, deserves to be respected and to be taken care of.
And got caught up in some fuck shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And he's very kind to her. And I think she reads that as she can't trust that.
She doesn't know how to trust
Because
like
she's
that.
not used to that.
And there's that scene before where she's like, why wouldn't you have raped me or something like that?
Yeah.
Almost accusatory of like,
Yeah.
like you should have wanted that.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you should.
That's
not,
what most
not so
guys,
much like
or
you
that's what
should
every
have-
guy wants.
Not what you shouldn't have raped me, but like
Right.
you should want me.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well,
And,
and
like-
I think that bleeds into the home invasion scene too, when he's trying to tie her up, and it's kind of funny and tense, but like it looks like he's maybe gonna rape her almost. you know?
There was that reveal where he like had her. It looked like
Yeah,
it was
she's
doggy
like
style.
bent over the couch.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's just
And-
trying to
and she is like struggling like
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
It was,
Yeah,
it was
well,
very
and then
provocative.
he's holding her at one point, and she's even saying, like, I bet you're fucking getting off on this, and
Yeah.
he's like, no.
yeah.
Now, Michael, I have to disagree with you on one thing.
Okay.
Igor did want something from her. And it was shown at the very end when, and I got another thing to say about this scene that was really interesting to me. But staying on topic, when she was on top of him and they were like having sex, he grabbed her head and like at first, like she was like kind of into it, like he's being assertive. And then he like tried to pull her in for a kiss.
Yeah.
And she resisted super hard. And that was a turning point. But what he wanted from her was genuine affection, genuine connection,
Yeah.
which she didn't have in the film. She thought she could get that from Vanya, because of his like kind of innocence, about him. But yeah.
No, yeah, I mean, I think that was the sentiment that I was trying to say, is that he wasn't just looking at her like an object, he like genuinely cared about her. And I think that like screwed her like mentally a little bit in that moment, when he's trying to kiss her. And I feel like that's why the ending is so powerful, because in that moment, there's like thousands of thoughts running through my mind. Like, you can interpret that scene in so many different ways because their characters were built out and are so complex that they could want a million different things in that situation.
Yeah.
I do want to note, Sean Baker did slightly talk about the ending. He kept the cards close to, his chest, but he said that to him, the ending is somewhat hopeful, which I thought was interesting, especially watching it this time with that in mind, because it is such a blow and it's really sad and tragic. And it's this big just release of emotions that have been bottled up the whole movie. But I don't know, like when I think about my life, right? And like a time where a bunch of stuff bottles up, but then I finally, get to release those emotions, it feels good, right?
Yeah.
And
It's a catharsis.
yeah, exactly. It's a cathartic moment. And Igor does care about her, and who's to say that, something doesn't work out between them.
Yeah. That is the silver lining, I think.
It's very
She's
open-ended.
facing reality for the first time in a way.
Yeah.
I was so impressed with how that scene made me feel, because it is that like the whole movie, you have this like rubber band of tension. And when she breaks down, I was like overwhelmed with emotion. And I wasn't I figured something like that would happen, but I wasn't expecting it to be that powerful.
Yeah.
It like just came over me, like all of her feelings, or however I interpreted her feelings in that moment, like just rushed all over, and you're like, holy fuck, like that, like everything from that whole week just comes like rushing to the forefront of your head, you know, and you really feel her struggle for that there. And it's even on the second watch, the same thing. I had this like rush of like emotion and empathy, and it was incredible to be able to capture that. That is what the magic of filmmaking is for me. Like being able to deliver a feeling is always the goal for me, and something that I feel like I haven't been able to capture yet in my own work. And so just seeing that, which is why I said masterclass in filmmaking. Like that was so cool.
Yeah.
Such an amazing moment, and such a crazy story, and such a powerful performance for Mickey Thompson.
I absolutely agree. And that was like the feeling that you mentioned is also like I got hit with that hard, you know. And because I think we all kind of shared that in that moment, where like prior to that final scene, we saw Igor's tenderness toward Anora throughout the movie, and then her like almost warming up to him at the end, but still being like super combative. And I think as the audience, I don't know about you guys, but like you almost kind of wanted them to end up together.
Oh yeah.
You were like, he's a good guy, like she deserves that, you know?
Yeah.
And then like when they're in the car, she climbs on top of him, and it's this like really, and this is interesting too. It is the difference between like sexual and sensual.
Oh yeah.
Right? It's intimate and like real. But, you know, like as the viewer, I hope this doesn't come off the wrong way, but like I was like, I'm not a huge fan of sex scenes in movies necessarily, unless they're like, you know, tasteful.
This guy doesn't like sex.
But this, what I'm trying to say is like, this was like low key hot. It was.
Yeah.
I could feel the tension in the room.
Windshield wipers.
Yeah.
Wiping the snow.
It was
off
very,
the
but I'm
windshield.
not done.
No, yeah, go for it.
But when that turning point shifted, it got to the point of like her resisting that vulnerability. And then like she finally like broke down crying. And the shift of feeling that I got from that scene was like, I wanted it prior, and like I felt almost like a little greedy in the moment of like, yes, like it's finally happening. Like I wanted this to happen. And then that shift happens. She breaks down crying, and I feel shame afterwards. And I think that's a great reflection of the audience, and also probably how we or most people view like sex workers in society. Like that is what they're for.
That's an
Wow.
interesting note,
Yeah.
because also I would just say like a rom-com in general. Not that this is like really a rom-com, but it is, you know, there's romance in it and whatnot.
And there's comedy.
And there is, so I guess it's a rom-com.
Anora, the new rom-com.
But like we were saying before, like it is very much built like a fairy tale, right? And the biggest moment of a fairy tale movie is usually the kiss, right?
Yeah.
Between the prince, the princess,
The
one who is always there for her, right? And like you said, I think
true
a general audience expectation is to want that moment, because we've been trained by all the movies and media that we've consumed that that's how these stories should wrap up.
Yeah.
But it's not human when something wraps up that way. And sure, you know, in life there's moments like that, but real life is way more complex.
Absolutely. We wanted like everything from Anora as much as all the other characters wanted from her.
Damn.
We are trained to want.
You're making me feel real bad, man.
Dude, I think
know.
that's one of the most impressive parts of this movie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Is how well that was portrayed
Yeah.
by Sean Baker.
Incredible,
Fucking
man.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, incredible. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. And that's like the choice to end the film still having the soundtrack of like the windshield wipers and like the whir of the car and the snow outside. And that's all you're left with. It's just credits. They did pre-credits, so like there's no like director or anything. It's just like the rest of the credits. And then that slowly fades out to nothing. No song at the end. Really makes you think.
Haunting.
Oh, it's
You know what it
amazing.
reminded me of? I'm thinking of ending things.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah.
Another
Car in the snow ending.
Oh man, I should
I
have
haven't
made
seen
you
that
guys
one.
watch that. Damn.
That is a good one. That is a good one. Another thing too, now that you mention it with the music, was there a score? I don't think there was a score.
They had credited music.
Yeah, they had a
No.
soundtrack, but there was no score.
Oh, score. No,
Yeah, no
I don't-
score.
No
No
score.
score.
All soundtrack.
Only soundtrack, yeah.
Mostly, I think, diegetic sound that would bleed into like non-diegetic editing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Super cool.
Club sounds.
Yep.
By the way, not to, backtrack too much, but like, how did they get those in club sounds with the music? What do they record that on?
Microphones?
They recorded it on their iPhone.
What do you mean? What are you asking?
It sounded so good. Like, I don't know.
I think it's probably a blend of like they have a mic for the room that's getting ambient for the whole room, and then I think they had more dedicated mics on the actors. And yeah, I mean, you could potentially ADR it too. There could have been some ADR going on.
Thank you, film guy. That's what I was looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know. They could have been real.
I'm really happy for the way that this film has been received. I've always been a fan of Sean Baker's work since the Florida Project.
And which film was this?
This film is Anora.
Follow your own rules, dude.
I know. God damn it.
Freaking hypocrite.
It's all right. I did it too.
No, I'm glad you did. But it's just really cool. I feel like, sex work, and especially, I mean, like you said, I don't know, movies with gratuitous sex nowadays aren't received as they were in the past. I would say, especially like with like raunchy comedies or whatever is when we would see it most, and now those are pretty taboo. And to see a movie like this not only be received by the public, so lovingly, but also to win an Oscar, like kind of unheard of. And I think it's cool because I like to see movies that represent real people and real stories and real life, and I think to see that being awarded is also very hopeful,
Absolutely. Yeah.
Well said.
Do you guys have anything else you want to mention?
I was gonna make a joke, but honestly, this Anora left me with like such a profound sadness, but also I'm so glad to have had that sadness.
Yeah.
I
think it's like a humbling movie experience. Very profound.
I think it reset me.
Hell yeah.
I think I'm back.
You back, baby? Let's go.
Incredible.
Kellen's back, man.
Dude, I'm glad to have you back.
He's been
Dude,
gone
good to
for a
be here.
while.
Yeah.
I
All
missed
right.
you guys.
Perfect, dude.
How was my birthday?
Oh, it was great.
great, man.
Yeah.
You should have seen the double we had for you.
The double?
Yeah, your double while you were gone.
Oh.
He looked just like you.
That was just my vessel.
Anyways,
Yeah.
this was
Such a powerful
enjoyable
film.
one.
Amazing.
I'm glad I watched it for a fourth time with you guys.
Mm.
Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe, ring the bell, do all the things. Follow us on Instagram. You can follow me on Letterboxd, mschnee. You can follow him on Letterboxd at.
I don't remember it.
He doesn't remember it, but I do because I have a graphic right here for you.
Oh, thanks, man.
And next week, we're still kind of talking about what we're going to do next week. But
Oh,
it's going to be a movie from kind of like small, not really important filmmaker named Paul Thomas Anderson. Just one of the best filmmakers of our lifetime, probably. And yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
What movie are we watching?
I don't know which one yet. There's so many that I want to watch.
We're watching a PTA film next week?
We're watching a PTA film.
Oh,
And-
boys and girls, you're going to want to tune in next week. PTA, that guy fucks.
PTA, also known as Paul Thomas Anderson.
Word.
For the uninitiated.
That guy fucks. Yeah, I don't know which one we're gonna watch, but I think leading up to his new movie, One Battle After Another. I don't even know if that's the official title. It's like the 5th title this movie has gotten now.
Nice.
But leading up to that, I want to watch some of his movies with you guys.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Down.
Might do it like once a month.
Awesome.
Something. Yeah.
I vote
Anyways.
Boogie Nights.
Boogie Nights.
I haven't seen it.
I vote Boogie Days.
Okay, we'll talk about. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to doing Boogie Nights. It could be interesting back to back with Anora.
Oh, yeah.
I do really like There Will Be Blood though.
Oh, I would love to see it. I've never seen it.
That one is really.
You haven't
fucking
seen it?
good.
No.
Oh,
Dude.
my boy! My boy!
I abandoned my boy. I abandoned my child. Yeah, that's a good one.
So good. Daniel Day-Lewis, man. Oh,
I know. I'm into it if you guys want to watch that one.
nah,
You've seen
you won't
Magnolia
like
now,
it.
right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Sean
We
hasn't
both
seen
have
Magnolia.
We've all watched Punch Drunk Love.
Mm.
Oh,
amazing.
it's my
Mhm.
favorite. It's on my top 10.
There's
Punch Drunk
also
Love.
The Master.
Oh, yep. That one, so weird.
That one is very weird.
So weird.
Inherent Vice. Have you guys seen Inherent Vice? Yeah.
Oh.
Joaquin Phoenix.
No.
Benicio del Toro.
No.
No.
I like those guys.
70s stoner hippie crime mystery movie.
No.
Wow. No, I haven't seen that one.
It is really cool. It's also very weird.
Huh.
And very different, and I love it.
This guy makes weird films.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Anyways, we're gonna watch one of those. So
Cool. All right.
Sweet.
yeah. All right. Take care, guys.
Take care, guys.